Welcome back to Fox 43 Morning News. Now, every now and then, an accident is so horrific that the news of it grips the nation. When 15 former Marines from a motorcycle club in Massachusetts hit the road for a meeting in New Hampshire in late June, they had no idea that they would lose 7 members of their group in an accident. Now, that crash on June 21st is believed to be the deadliest accident involving motorcyclists in recent U.S. history. The 23-year-old driver of the pickup truck that plowed into the cyclist has since been charged with 7 counts of negligent homicide. They are also accused of crossing the double yellow line, swerving into the path of the group of motorcyclists. Now, here today to talk more about motorcycle accidents and determining who is at fault during this, we're going to turn to attorney Chris Larson. You're with Georgelis, the Injury Law Firm, and sticking with that accident that we just told everyone at home about, extremely terrible for those motorcyclists and everyone involved, but there really seemed to be no chance for them in that situation. So if you can kind of talk to us about how you make sure or kind of find out if the driver is at fault in that situation.
Sure. Thank you very much for having us here today.
Of course, thank you.
Yes, that was a horrible, tragic, catastrophic accident that occurred up in New Hampshire, and there is a lot of research that has been done on motorcycle crashes, and I can tell you that in the research, the numbers bear out that 65% of the time or more, it's the other driver that's at fault for those crashes. And as might not be a surprise to you, oftentimes the result or the cause of those crashes tends to be distracted driving. Using a cell phone, texting, changing radio stations, putting on makeup, things like that, which end up with the driver not paying attention to what they're doing, and 50% of those times ends up with them leaving their lane of travel and actually colliding with the motorcyclist head on, such as what happened up in New Hampshire. Another large part of those accidents has to do with individuals just not perceiving the motorcyclist on a road. So either turning left in front of them, failing to yield to the motorcyclist, or pulling out from a stop sign in front of that motorcyclist. And again, catastrophic losses anytime when somebody on a motorcycle is struck by another vehicle. And I can tell you that the numbers bear out that approximately 45% of the crashes that motorcyclists are involved in occur with collisions with other vehicles.
Oh, wow. Now, here locally, we have Harley-Davidson, so there's a lot of motorcyclists in this area. Now, you talked a lot about the drivers that are causing these crashes by being distracted, but what can the motorcyclists do to, I guess, put their safety first in these types of situations?
Yes, there's a huge interest in this area in motorcycling, and quite frankly, the numbers of motorcycles on the road is increasing not only here but nationwide. In fact, I think since 2006, the number of registered motorcycles on the road has increased by 28%. So anytime you have that increase in motorcycles on the road, of course, you're going to have an increase in the number of incidents. So that's why it's very important for news outlets such as yourself to get the word out there about the risks that are involved, so that the motorcycle riders as well as drivers of the other vehicles are more vigilant and cautious and aware of the risks.
So safety with those risks, perhaps putting on a helmet, but I know that is a debate, if you can explain that.
There's absolutely a debate on the helmets since I believe it was 2003 when the helmet law was changed. So as of today, an individual who is 21 years of age and has at least 2 years of experience riding a motorcycle or has successfully completed a motorcycle safety course is allowed to ride a motorcycle without a helmet on. Now, of course, that's a decision that one has to make, understanding the risks that are involved, because we see so many incidents of motorcyclists that are riding without a helmet where they end up with either traumatic brain injury or cervical spine injuries, all of which would have been avoided had they had a helmet on. So I know somebody who was actually involved as a proponent in getting that law passed back in the early 2000s, but even he wears a helmet.
Now, hopefully, you can just prevent these accidents from happening in general, but some of them are not preventable. So if you are involved in a motorcycle accident, what is your step after this?
Absolutely. What somebody needs to do is, as we say at our firm, call Georgelis first. The reason we suggest that people call us first is because we don't want them signing away any of their rights. When they have contact with the insurance company early on in a case. They can sign a document or say something that could negatively impact the potential recovery in a case. We want them calling us early on so that we can get involved. We've gone out to the hospital to meet with clients. We'll go to somebody's house to meet with them. Whatever it takes, we want to be involved early on. The worst case scenario is when we get involved late in the case and we get paperwork from the insurance company in which somebody has signed off on their rights and cannot recover appropriately and cannot be compensated for the damage to their motorcycle or the personal injuries that they incurred. And we see injuries that can range anywhere from road rage or road rash to broken bones to traumatic brain injuries to fatalities. And these can have huge impacts on the victim of the crash, the family members as well. The costs involved in taking care of somebody who can be subject to one of these crashes can range in the thousands, tens, hundreds of thousands, into the millions for treatment for the rest of their lives. So it's very important early on to get us involved.
Yeah, and I know that you can go on about this for a while, so if you want to learn more, you can contact Georgelis Injury Law Firm. We have much more on that. You can just give them a call at 1-800-HURT-NOW. And there's more on our website and on the Georgelis website. Go to FOX43.com to reach out to them with your questions.